Hey guys, it's the girl Michelle, Mimi, Snake Lover. How you guys doing this afternoon? I'm gonna talk about a few things today. I'm not sure what I'm gonna title this yet, so you'll see that when the video is complete. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. I know I am. I'm feeling good. I got good energy going on, so I'm just here to say hello and talk about a few things. First thing I wanted to talk about was um, how a song kept looping yesterday. It was called "I Belong to You" by Lenny Kravitz, and it was looping, 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 and I was like, "Okay, Spirit, why you keep on, let me hear this song in my head." Then finally, I had to put it on, and when I put it on, uh, Spirit basically let me know, was like, this is for the collective of the Twin Flames at this point in time, and what it's trying to tell you is that this separation, this period of separation, and for some, not all, is gonna be coming to an end shortly. Okay. Because the overall feeling of the collective at this time is we're in a state of abandonment. We're in a state of separation. We're in a state of being alone. But it's for a purpose. We all feel abandoned right now as a collective. We're all having those lonely feelings. We're all having those sad vibes right now. It's for a reason. Everything's for a reason, a season. We just got to figure out what. And the reason for the abandonment feeling, the reason for that alone feeling, that we've been missing something, or some people have that FOMO, the fear of missing out of things. Well, this is where it comes from. Basically, the twin soul is this: the twin flame started out as one and separated. So, obviously, the body doesn't feel complete because the soul isn't complete, because we're walking around basically with half of us. We're not walking around as whole individuals. When we have our divine counterpart out and about in the world. And sometimes they're not even in the same country. Sometimes they're across the street. Sometimes it just doesn't matter. Sometimes you never meet them in this lifetime. And that's just what it is. Um, but if you're intuitive and you practice, and it's something that you hone in on, like some of us kind of taught our gifts earlier. Some people had to come into their gifts. It doesn't matter which way you come into your gifts. Everybody has the propensity to do this within them with discipline. But you have to, first, usually spirit will send you some kind of clue as to what your gift will be. And sometimes, like as when I was growing up, I didn't really want to talk about it too much because I was scared how people would view me. And for a long time, I was still very scared. And I think I held myself back for a very long time about that. Now, I don't want to get off a topic here. Let me go back to the twin flame, and then we'll talk about that some more. Okay, so the twin flame and the feelings of abandonment as a collective we're feeling. If you're not familiar with the twin flame thing, basically, there's a chaser and there's a runner. Usually, when they first discover themselves, that's what's going on. So you have the pursuer and the one being pursued. And the one being pursued absolutely feels the same way that you feel. It's not that they don't. But it comes in stages. Sometimes both are awakened, sometimes only one is awakened. And because the other flame is like a little bit more underdeveloped on their journey, the one that is more spiritually aware kind of suffers in the waiting period. But I will say that not every twin flame is meant to meet on this plane. Not every twin flame is meant to reunite. And I'm sorry if that saddens some people because it's very painful. Like I have experienced the death of it at one point. And that really hurt me immensely. But I'm not going to be talking about my personal experience right now. We'll do that at a later time. Right now, what I want you guys to understand is if you're feeling alone, if you're feeling like you were abandoned, it's because a part of you is missing. Not everyone in this lifetime gets to reconvene with who they're meant to. But it's a lot of our doing, you guys. If you want to end up in that divine union, you want to end up in that spiritual union, and you want to feel like you've never felt in your entire life, the best thing that I can tell you to do for yourself The best thing I could tell you to do for yourself, if you want that divine connection, be astute, you know, work on yourself, take care of yourself. Because the worst thing you could do for yourself is neglect yourself and worry and be the chaser, chasing somebody. Like, check that out. How would you feel? Real G. Like, me, I'm gonna chase nobody. I don't give a shit. You either want me or you don't. You're either developed enough for me or you're not. But I'm not gonna sit here and wait till you to figure that out. It's not my journey. But in the process, right? Twin flames, when the one is awake and the other one's getting there, approaching, just inching slowly, 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 there's this process that happens. It starts to happen. It's called mirroring. And the mirroring, once that starts to happen, you start noticing you guys kind of grew up the same. If you know this person, because obviously you're not going to have this information just pop up into your brain if you don't know them or you've never met them. I'm saying for the people who are actually aware of who their twin flame is, where they might be in the world, all of that. That's what I'm talking about here. So not to get us confused, because we can also always have this like constant feeling of emptiness inside, right? We can have this constant feeling of isolation, being alone, blah blah blah. That could be depression. That doesn't have anything to do with your twin flame. And for that, I would suggest, whatever way feels best for yourself to get that help to get you out of that funk. Okay, just so you're aware of that. Now, what I'm talking about when you feel in complete isolation and alone, like because you feel like a part of you is missing. That's what I'm talking about. So if you walk around and you feel like a part of you is missing, you just can't explain it, you can't put your finger on it, it's probably because you haven't, merged with your twin flame energy yet. And again, I don't have a good timeline of when that's definitely going to happen. For that would actually have to be like a separate personal one-to-one reading. I can't tell you, for you it's going to be this, for you it's going to be that. And that's just what spirit wants to volunteer the information to me to let you know. So all that I'm having privy to right now is basically this. When you have one that is awakened, the other one starts to slowly turn to awakening because of your awakening, because there's this thing that happens between the twin flames called mirroring. And if you guys know each other on a personal level, I guess this is in the discovery portion of y'all's selves, because you start to realize, hey, like maybe your dad had a drug problem and he walked away from the family. And then he tells you this, or she tells you this, and then you're like, wow, like I never met my dad because he OD'd on drugs. So it's like a form of mirroring, you know what I mean? And then you also say, oh, well, my mom was narcissistic because she displayed this, this, and this, right? Oh, wow, that sparks for the person. That's something I've been through too. So upon meeting this person, you just pretty much feel like, dang, is this me? Is this another extension of me? And essentially it is, because it's your soul out in the world. Because basically we're just these bodies carrying who we really are, which is our soul, to our final destination in the stars. Right? You got to get happy about that. When we go back to source, that's going to be a fun time. I mean, we're already source. It's cool to be source and know that you're source, but to return, to merge, to be that all, that's going to be fun. Anywho, back to what I was saying about the twin flame stuff going on. So yeah, you find yourselves mirroring even in the things that you're going through, personally. It's a tough time. I got some friends of mine going through it. One being the one that is pursuing right now, the other one running. But they come in drips and drabs, drips and drabs, drips and drabs, and they want to kind of reel you back in, reel you back in. You got to be careful, because the only way the unification process can happen between twin flames, the only way it can happen is they've both got to be 100% healed of anything, whether it's childhood wounds. I don't know why this got dark all of a sudden, but whether it's childhood wounds or Whatever it is, doesn't really matter at this point. The reason that I'm saying what